Welcome to JHL Cinema Clash. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the current state of DC, what's working and what concerns us, and we'll kick it off with Heido.
All right, I'm going to start off with Supergirl. What do you guys think? Did you guys think it was good, great, poor, sad, disappointing,
Trash.
trash?
It was trash.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, it wasn't my favorite. Not a fan. Lobo was a disappointment, which supposedly he was supposed to be the big it factor for the movie. I felt like they missed that plastic stomach that he had going on was very visible through the movie. CGI was mid at best. Supergirl was like an alcoholic, where
Trash.
what I know her was like a goody two shoes, and she was an alcoholic, which didn't give a fuck about much. I felt like the storyline was bad. I felt like Lobo was bad. The bad guy was horrible. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. I might be ignorant to the DCU per se, but I didn't know who that guy was. Did you guys? What do you guys think?
Everything was trash. From beginning to start, they started talking about Superman, and then from there on, the Superman movie was pretty good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was. I gave it like a 7 last time. This one I gave it a 2. It's so bad. It's that girl with the sword. What was her purpose? They killed her family, and she's got for vengeance. Then she gets Supergirl. Then Supergirl loses her dog. It was una mierda. This is the reason why I have so much problems with DC, and this is why I think DC is trash, and they should stick to comic books. And it's because of movies like this.
I think James Gunn was already given 2 opportunities at this. He failed at both. There's no reason to give him a third. That's the one thing I will say. The second thing I will say is the highlight of Superman was Crypto, right? When Crypto came out, it's the one thing that people really praised about that movie. And some people praised Superman, as a good Superman. I didn't like him per se. But in Supergirl, the one character that we had, 2 characters that we had that were going to be the highlight of that movie, I thought at least, Lobo and Crypto. Crypto, we didn't see much of him besides he was in a coma. And then Lobo was absolutely dog shit, bro. I really was expecting Lobo to be, because in my mind, and we talked about this in a previous video, we was like, this guy was born for this role. And we got to see some clips that we were like, man, dude, this looks like it's going to be badass. It was not that. Not at all.
No.
And,
Not at all.
the cigar, listen, I'm a cigar smoker. That shit looked like an e-cig, bro.
It was a e-cig. It literally was a e-cig. He had the company that he was working for create a cigar similar to the one that he normally smokes, and it was an e-cig. It was meant for that. It was a vape, literally a vape. So that way it can never shut off. So that way when he pulled, that he had it on his lip, when he pulled, that it looked like it was burning.
It was too obvious because the cigar never shrunk. It was always the same cigar throughout the movie.
Everything was too obvious. Yeah. Like Heido said, the CGI, the stomach. You expected him to come out like he did for Aquaman. That's what we expected, and it was the total opposite. For me, he should stop doing superhero movies. If it's gonna be with that attitude, he should just call it quits. Lobo?
Jason Momoa. But I think it was the preparation that he put into that role. It just seemed to me like maybe it was rushed and he didn't have the opportunity to properly prep physically for it. And that's probably why they had to use so much prosthetic, because the prosthetics on Lobo was just absolutely bad, bro. It looked plastic.
Yeah, the stomach looked crazy, right? But the facial features were spot on. If you was to look at a comic book of him, spot on. But the body was built weird. Like if it wasn't his body, which we all know it wasn't. Yeah, it was the Timo version of But that being said, we saw 3-4 scenes of him just it wasn't really much about him, right? It was him being a bounty hunter and him looking for a specific guy that was in part of the villain's crew, and that was kind of it, right? Um, he didn't serve a purpose. There wasn't like, damn, he's about to go crazy. There was none of that. There was no feel of that. Um, he's a cursor, man, and all we heard was bastard from him a few times, maybe two, three times, which he says a lot in the comics, but we probably heard it twice, right? Um, and then I just felt like Supergirl, the whole drinking aspect of it, like that's not who she was. At least that's not who I remember, right? And I'm going off of Supergirl, and I don't know if Cara Danvers from the show uh gave me the goody two shoes impression, right? That dope feel. Like I loved Supergirl, the show. It was amazing. And then coming to this one where she's an alcoholic, she barely cares about anything, room all messy, crypto peeing on the floor, basically on a fucking newspaper. And she's like, "Oh, you got a half on there." Ha ha ha. That was a whack ass joke.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a miss altogether. I've seen people giving this a 6, man, and to Jay's point, I wouldn't give it as low as a 2, but definitely within that range. I would say maybe a 4, and that's me being generous to the movie.
Is that it wasn't good, man. Nothing at all. Like you try to find spots that you always give a movie a chance, and since it came out the same time Toy Story came out, and you know, the box office, you know, it's gonna run low because Toy Story is so high on it, and then you try to give it that chance, and then when you give it that chance, it's like, so it's not even because a certain movie came out, is that this movie's trash.
So I know Laz said that James Gunn missed on both of his projects. Yes, he missed with Supergirl, but I feel like Superman was decent. I
Yes.
enjoyed the fact that they didn't give us him getting to the earth, him cutting the wood in his dad's farm. I'm glad that they skipped all through that bullshit. We done seen it 700 times in the last fucking 50, 60 years that Superman has been around, right?
Hmm.
And we get the same beginning of Superman. I'm glad that he skipped over it. Um, there was some funny parts where why I gave it a 7, kind of like Jay, is because I felt like he was trying to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and a Superman movie, where
Exactly what he was doing.
where I felt like that was a miss. Like even the music was kind of like the old school feel, and I don't care what nobody says. That Green Lantern, that fucking bob cut that he has going
The
on, I
bowl cut.
fucking hate it. I
I'll say
fucking
this.
hate it.
I'll say this. Aesthetically speaking, he is accurate to how he
Accurate.
actually looks.
Accurate like
Yeah.
a
For
for
motherfucker.
that version of Green Lantern.
Absolutely accurate like a motherfucker. But do I like him? Absolutely not. He looks garbage. Mr.
Superman looked
Terrific,
good.
Superman, Mr. Terrific. I enjoyed both of them. Right,
Mhm.
the smart black guy, and then Superman was dope. Even Hawkgirl was decent. Right, Crypto was dope. I enjoyed Crypto throughout the whole movie. Um, him being a dog and being able to be portrayed the way Crypto's being portrayed, I enjoyed that part, right?
Yeah.
But again, I just feel like since it's James Gunn, I felt like, hey, since this been working in the MCU, let's go ahead and try to do this with Superman, where it won't be the same. It'll never be the same because most people didn't know about the Guardians of the Galaxy. So however you portrayed them is okay because 9 out of 10 people didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy was, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knew who Groot was, Rocket, and all these people. So it didn't matter how you portrayed them. People will like it because your thought process is right? But with Superman, you can't do that. I feel like Superman, 10 out of 10 people know who Superman is, even
Yeah.
if you're not a comic book fan, even if you're not a hero fan. Everyone in the universe, I think, knows who the fuck Superman
Of
is.
course. No, of course.
And everybody has a certain expectation about Superman. I just feel like he tried to go a different route with Superman. Like when that thing was fighting the Green Lantern and he was chilling in his house talking with Lois Lane. That's not
That's not
Superman.
Superman.
Superman, he don't care if people didn't like him or people loved him. He was always gonna do what he thought was right. He can pick up Thor's hammer because the motherfucker's righteous, just like Captain America is. And I felt like in that scene, I felt like that's not Superman. Superman would have went over there. He don't give a fuck if y'all like me. I'm gonna go
Nope.
kill that monster. Be like,
Yeah, he was more concerned with being accepted as a human. I think something you said though that I disagree with Superman. The storytelling part, right, where they start off with the beginning of Superman's life story. Anytime you do a reboot, you have to begin there because that's the problem I had with this last movie is it started at a point where with Superman where it was just like there was no backstory to it. It's just Superman. Here we go. You know, it was a
so
new
you wanted to
Superman.
watch him again in the barn?
So
cutting
this is the
wood?
problem. This
If
is the
you're
problem
gonna
with
do
this.
a reboot, it's gotta be done a reboot. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're redoing it, and it could be in a different way, right? But the story can't change because that's what we know Superman as. I felt
But
like
we have-
that. The previous
problem
Superman
is-
was so good, and then we ended up with this shit. Not to mention his suit to me was trash. I don't care what nobody say about those damn
But
trunks.
it's the
It's
original.
the original.
One.
It's not even that they went with the trunks or they made it look like the original. It
Why?
literally
Because he had
looks,
underwear on.
it's not even that. If you look at the suit, it just he doesn't look like Superman in the sense that we know Superman as a big, strong, the strongest guy in that universe. You look at him, he's like a normal dude with freaking PJs on. I thought the suit was trash, bro. I thought the suit was trash.
Well, back to your argument of them not starting it all over again. The problem that DC has, that's the biggest problem I have, they make the same movie over and over and how many Superman movies there are? How many Batman movies there are? How many
17 of each.
Yeah, there's a bunch. So you're gonna get the same movie, the same
We
movie.
can say the same about
movie.
Spider-Man, though. It's always the same. As they reboot the Spider-Mans, it always starts in the beginning, giving you his backstory.
No,
But it's
not
different.
true. Homecoming, they didn't kill Ben.
No, because it was a different universe. But then we ended up getting that storyline anyways when they killed Aunt May.
Yeah, but you didn't get the spider bite. You didn't get Uncle Ben's death. You didn't get none of that. That's the original story of Spider-Man. Though the last two, absolutely. But Homecoming was great. You're not gonna tell me it wasn't.
It was good.
It was decent. Like I would give that one an 8 out of 10, easy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Vulture as being the villain. I enjoyed that they started it off there. To your point, where they fucked up, and I think it's kind of where you felt like, what the fuck is happening? He was hurt already. That was the beginning of the story.
Mm-hmm.
He was hurt, laying on the ground, Crypto grabbing him by the cape and pulling him.
There was no backstory to it, like nothing leading up to this movie.
So there was nothing behind that. I think that's what caught you off guard, where you were like, how the fuck did this motherfucker get hurt already? Nothing happened.
Did I just miss this movie?
Yeah. Did I miss a part?
It almost seemed like this should have been a second movie for this Superman, not the first one. I think I would have probably accepted it more if there was another movie leading up to this point. Because again, it's not that the movie was, I don't want to say it was bad because the graphics, everything was good. Even that scene when he wrapped the kid with his cape, I thought that was, bro.
Yeah, great.
Whoever idea that was, brilliant.
So I guess what they were trying to go with, I'm trying to be human, and I couldn't. And in the end, I have to show these guys I'm a bad motherfucker. And because in the end of the movie, he destroys everything. So probably now when there's a second part, we get that, I'm Superman. I'm the man of
not
steel.
a fan of Lex Luthor. I thought Lex Luthor, they should absolutely recast that guy. I'm not a fan of him as Lex Luthor. We've always seen him as a good guy. It just seemed like he struggled to really meet that role of that villain. It doesn't fit him. I don't know why. I can't help but see the Beast or Beast, whatever, from X-Men.
Yeah, Beast from X-Men. So to your point, I feel like Lex Luthor has been an issue to cast throughout all his movies, right? I feel like besides Kevin Spacey, right, which I it wasn't the greatest Lex Luthor, but it was a good sinister uh Lex Luthor. But the last guy, Jake, whatever his name is, I don't remember his before the Beast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
He
was Jesse. His name was Jesse some shit,
yeah.
Elzenberg or whatever his name is. He didn't fit the role neither.
He would have been better as a Joker, because he literally was playing the role of a Joker there. I mean, if you look at the way he would act, I was like, damn, this is actually not bad acting if he was the Joker. But we're talking about a super smart villain who is not crazy. He doesn't act like he's freaking off his rocker the way this guy was acting. I don't know. It was just so weird, bro. They have failed, time and time again. And it just seems like they're on a bad path and they are not recovering from it. And it sucks because when it comes to their anime, their storytelling is A tier.
Wait, because we gave him shit for. Well, you gave him shit for both. I gave him shit for one specifically, and then Jay gave him shit for one. The Penguin was amazing. The
I
Penguin was
agree.
amazing.
But
The show The Penguin was amazing.
but that is not being directed by James Gunn. So
Is it
we
not?
need to talk to that guy.
Is
Hell
it not?
no. No.
You
Matter of
sure?
fact, I'm gonna look that up right now.
Remember, he's overseeing all of the DCU. But to me, the Penguin was amazing.
I want to look that up because
I'm gonna be honest. I think the Penguin is the best thing they got right now going on.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what's his name?
Lauren LaFranc is who's directing that. We need to talk to him. We need to talk to him. By
Lauren
the way,
is a girl, my boy.
or her. You know what's funny? I didn't know this until maybe like 4 months ago. But you know who plays the Penguin?
Colin Farrell. I just said
That
it. Colin
shit-
Farrell.
That shit
Amazing.
was shocking
He's-
to me, bro.
Amazing part. Amazing.
Yeah, dude, killed it.
Now, the upcoming films that they have, right, is going to be two. One's going to be a movie and one's going to be a show. The show is Lanterns. Is going to come out on HBO Max. It's going to be following Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart investigating murder mysteries on Earth. Hal Jordan is supposedly the most OP Green Lantern. The guy they casted for Hal Jordan looks amazing. I think he fits the part, right, of the comic book accurate. And then Jon Stewart, you guys know how I feel about him. I hate the fucking bob cut. Even though it's fucking comic accurate to me, I just hate the look. It just looks so bad. And then I just feel like the guy's an old guy too. Like, no disrespect to him. I enjoyed him in a few different
In Castle.
shows that shows that he did. The Rookie, really good show. But I just feel like he's older for the part. But that's one. And then I'm interested to see what's Jay's take with the second one, where it's their first horror movie where it's Clayface. So I'm interested to see what do you guys what's your take on these two upcoming projects that they have coming up?
Well, let's see. At least with the Clayface, I hope, like I always say, I hope they don't fuck it up, especially as a horror. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I really don't like DC. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. The only people that continue to save DC is Batman and his villains. This is coming from a couple of podcasts before. I've always said this. DC ain't nothing without Batman. Everything else they put on screen does not work. Penguin, where is he from? Batman. Batman movies, they're pretty solid. They're not the best. Some of them are good. Some of them are misses. I don't know. I
thought
just
the
they're
Gotham
probably,
show was good too.
So
but,
I
it's,
have a,
but once
I have a
again,
question now that you-
it's Batman.
now that you brought it.
Give me another movie that is not Batman related that DC is like, oh, we did a great job at. If you guys can name me 5, I'll be like, okay, I agree.
So I'm gonna give you 2. The original Superman 1 and 2 from back in the day were fire. With I don't remember what the actor's name, Christopher Reeves, I think his
That's
name was.
one.
He was fire in both of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a Batman fan, so.
But Batman, you see what I mean?
But here's the thing.
Not even Justice League hit the same.
But DC shows outcook MCU.
But what are the shows? Which one are they?
The Flash, Green Arrow, Supergirl.
Green Arrow was okay.
3. No, that shit was fire. When he was killing people when it first started, that shit was fire. He was a superhero. Ra's al Ghul, him, Flash, and Supergirl were completely amazing shows. The Legends of Tomorrow, not a fan. It was okay, but it wasn't great. All right. But those 3 shows were bangers. All 3 of them. I enjoyed every single one of them. I watched them to the entirety. Like every other show, it became where they didn't know what else to do and started throwing shit on the wall and just to see where to see what sticks.
Okay, but you get a little bit of a leeway when it comes to shows because if one episode didn't work, another episode could. You understand? With a movie, they be throwing a bunch of shit on the wall and nothing sticks.
The thing is too is also if we're talking about movies and this is me just throwing this out there, right? But their anime movies are really fucking good. Mm-hmm. They have amazing storylines they have an entire archive they can dig from to reboot the live action movies that they're throwing out because it just seems like they're trying to reinvent the wheel with DC. I don't know if it's that they're trying to compete with
because it's trash.
It's almost like they're trying to compete with Marvel instead of just trying to outdo what they did previously. Forget about Marvel and focus on what you got going, right? Because DC has a huge following. It's been around longer than
Marvel. Mm-hmm.
It's just they really need to dig into the archives and really start taking it. Because even John Constantine, right? They can remake John Constantine live action. Just go look at the anime movie that they have of him where he's fighting alongside with Superman. That movie is crazy, bro.
I think they should stick to comic books and cartoons is what they're good at because movies they're not that good. Sorry to tell you, if it's not Batman, they have nothing else.
So here's my issue, right? It's not that the movies are bad. The thing is they don't have no substance behind it, right? This is this movie, and then whatever movie's next has nothing to do with this movie, right?
Yeah.
That's where DC can't keep up with the MCU. The MCU, this movie, and 5 movies down the road, all of them match.
This is why this movie came out.
This is why this came out, and it has something to do with this. And then this came out, and it has something to do with this. And then at the end is the Big Bang. Everything together. So you know why, oh shit, this is why this movie came out. This is why this movie came out. With DC, there is none of that.
With
DC,
right now.
It's just, here's this movie, has nothing to do with this movie, but here's this one too. And when they said, hey, we're going to do a Superman, we're going to do an Aquaman, we're going to do a Wonder Woman. In my mind, I said, oh, this is going to probably be dope because now they're going to do a sequence of a movie.
The reason why.
Where everything led up to Justice League, but it wasn't.
Nope. They jumped in right to Justice League.
It was here's this movie, and then all of them together. Cool.
So that's what fucked them up. They threw them all together, and now what? Let's have Batman defeat them all.
Which is, by the way, is why Ben Affleck wanted to direct the next Batman. He was like, I'll do it again, but I need to direct the movie. And they told him no.
But, Poti, that's why I'm telling you.
He said,
everything
I'm done with
we
the role.
mentioned is Batman. DC ain't shit without Batman.
Yeah.
You can't give me no other
what I'm saying is, to your point, is that clearly he's seen something was wrong with the franchise. And he was like, the path that we're going down with directors on this, it's just all over the place. Too many minds are trying to figure out how to redo this instead of just let's start at point A and work our way up to where we want to get to, which would have been the Justice League. I thought the Justice League had a lot of potential. I liked it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. Could it have been better? Absolutely.
It gave you 3 hours to like it.
So here's the problem with that, right? Because I am a Batman fan, right? I hated that they made him look like he was an old, slow bastard. Everybody got to the fight and they're stuck in traffic. He's stuck in traffic, Baba, because I got here 10 minutes later after the fighting started. Yo, everybody good? Oh, shit. That's how I felt. Like
if
they
he didn't
try
have
to
the
play
Batman.
Batman like that.
But the thing is that the version of Batman he was playing, it's a older Batman. It's that was the whole purpose of that Batman.
Garbage.
You wanted to see the Dark Knight again. But this was
Why
whole
not?
this but
It
that's
was
the thing.
it was a great
what I'm saying
it was
is,
a great Batman.
It was. But what I'm saying is this is a whole different Batman though. Completely different.
Yeah, but if you're gonna put all of them together, put the best of the best together. When have you seen Marvel do that? They don't put the porquerias. Even when they put Thor, Fat Thor, he was badass.
No, he wasn't.
Thor, when he was fighting in the Avengers, when he was the fat guy.
His only highlight. That was his only highlight. That was his only highlight.
And the shit even gave him that boy
His
braids and everything.
Braided up. That was his only highlight.
Better
the
than
fight
Batman.
with Thanos was fire. First, so before we continue, right? And we talked about Ben Affleck, but we're not talking about Robert Pattinson. Do you think he should continue to play that emo Batman?
No.
Since you've been saying Batman carries the franchise.
He should go back to Twilight and shine. That's what he's good at.
I mean,
it was weird seeing him there.
The thing is I see the version of Batman they're doing with him, but he's not it. He's not the guy to play that Batman. They need to go with somebody different. It sure as hell ain't him. It's almost like he doesn't give you I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy that has no friends and doesn't want to talk to nobody. He paints his nails black.
Yeah. Every time you come out, and tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. So that's all I saw from him.
So I was disappointed in the Riddler with no suit, trash completely all the way through. And then I didn't mind the Batman version of him. I hated every second of Bruce Wayne that he played, if that makes sense. The Batman version, the serious, because Batman's always serious. He's not, hey, let's chit chat, that persona is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is, hey, I'm trying to get with the ladies. I'm a ladies man. I'm the cheche. I'm that. I got that swag. With Bruce Wayne, he's not that. He's not even close to that. But that's what I'm used to. Where Batman was
a
serious guy, but Bruce Wayne was, yo, I'm going to the parties. I'm gonna show out. I'm here to party, have fun, smash the girls, and be Bruce Wayne, right? That's who Bruce Wayne was.
Yeah, he was.
And then we had this guy with the fucking hair coming down his eye, and him whipping that shit back. That shit
ain't it.
That shit lost
DC,
me. Yeah, it lost me all the way.
Because DC loves to flop. Even what was that villain movie again that they had? The Harley Quinn came out and.
Birds of Prey?
Suicide Squad. Even
Suicide Squad was good, bro. The first one?
Una mierda. Trash.
I don't know.
I mean, it was decent. It was decent. It was definitely decent.
Will Smith played a hell of a death shot, bro. I don't know, man. That's the thing right there. It's just that DC just can't. They really are exactly what you said. They're throwing shit on the wall and see what sticks. At this point, I've accepted the great series that they have and their animated movies. I enjoy that. I've lost about 80%
interest for everything else
in their live actions. I don't think we'll see anything good for a while, bro. They need to get rid of that dude. James Gunn.
Like I said, they should keep with their cartoons and their comic books. They should throw a couple of Batman movies and series. That's about it. They should do no other heroes because
Nah, don't say
they're
that.
not sticking.
I
That's that
definitely
they're
wanna
not
say-
sticking.
It doesn't
They're
mean
not.
it doesn't mean that they won't bounce back. I think they will.
How long they've been trying to bounce back though?
It's been a while, but I think they will.
Damn.
James Gunn got to go first, and then
Nah,
they
so
can-
I don't think it's James Gunn. Remember, a
bro,
lot of these.
he had. I just want to say something, Iro. He had. Right now, there's an argument going on between him and the lady that wrote Woman of Tomorrow, right, for Supergirl. Apparently, that script was really good, and he said, "Nah, we're gonna go with this one," and that's what they put out. It was his call to put out that bullshit ass movie they put out for Supergirl.
That shit was so disappointing. All right, guys, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and follow, like, subscribe. Remember to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And go ahead and sign us out, buddy.
I'm Batman.
Yeah.